Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So, as you can tell by the title, today I'm going to be telling you the story of when I was suspended from school. Now, a lot of people wouldn't suspect that from me, but yes, it did happen. When people found out, they were like, holy shit, what'd you do, yada yada yada. I skipped class, okay? And the backstory starts now. So, that year, we did the Smarter Balance testing in Connecticut. I don't know if you guys have heard of it. If you have, I'm sorry. If you're taking it, I'm deeply sorry. And basically, both my English classes that year, because I had English and creative writing, they were in the first semester, but the testing was in the second semester. And so, like, I don't know, it's so weird that, like, there was only two tests. It was the math test and the English test. But since the test was in the second semester, I had to take another class out of my schedule to take the test, because both my English classes were already done. On my math test, I would just go with my math class. So I took out choir. I was like, I can get back into that really easy, yada yada yada. So I stopped going to choir for a few days. The teacher knew, and I said, okay, I gotta go test. And he was like, okay. So you had 4 days, I want to say, to complete the test, because 2 days was like, at least for the English one, it was like 2 days of reading and answering questions, and then it was 2 days of writing an essay, which, or maybe it was 1 day each, I don't remember. But the last day I was there, I finished really early, because I had found out that no one passed the test at all, so I kind of just fucked it up. I was like, I'm not going to pass anyway, let me just get this shit out of the way. So I fucked it up, and my choir class was going on break because they were hour-and-a-half long classes, so people doing the test could finish the test. So I walk in, and they were on break, so I was like, oh, great. I really just wanted to get back into this, yada, yada, yada. And I see one of my friends, and she did not look like she wanted to be there at all. So I was like, hey, do you want to... Well, I asked her how long break was. She said a few minutes, and I was like, okay, do you want to go to the other side of the school water fountain and come back, because we had time? She said yes. So we walked down. I was keeping time on my watch, because at that time I did wear a watch. I don't anymore because I'm stupid. And I was timing it out, and we got there, and then we were like, we don't want to go back. So we didn't. And she had her stuff with her. We were smart about this too, even though we didn't know we were going to skip. So we both had our stuff, and we sat down there, and we just stayed there the entire period. It was only like half an hour left, but, bad things. So we stayed there, and from that day forward, and I had the same teacher for choir for first period too. He was also my music theory teacher. So the next day he was like, where were you? And I said I was making up a test, which in reality I was, but after that I just didn't want to go back to class. But then that same day, when choir came around again, me and my friend were like, we don't want to go again, let's just go over there again, yada yada yada. And so we went over there again, and we stayed the whole period. And the next day I went in, he was like, I didn't see you again. I was like, oh, sorry, I still hadn't finished the test. I didn't finish the essay, yada yada yada. But obviously I did. And it became a daily thing, except then I would start telling him first period that I had to make up a test for another class. So I would say, oh yeah, my teacher told me yesterday that I had a math test to make up, shit like that. But then I got smart about it. Smart. So I would start skipping that period too, so he would just think I wasn't there for the day. So, and the way that me and my friend did it, we were really stupid about this at first, because what we would do is 7th period, we'd walk into the class and walk right out, because here's the door to get in, here's another door that leads to like a hallway down to a staircase, and we'd hide in the staircase. So we'd go through there, down the hallway, down the staircase, and stay there. And then we go to lunch, and then we go to band, and then we go home. And then we were like, me in the clear, yes. But then someone caught us going out the other door, and then they asked us like we were going, and I was like, oh, I gotta go make a phone call. My family member's in the hospital, I want to check on them. They're like, okay, bye. I told them I'd be back, and then I never came back. So then we had to think of a new plan, and we were like, oh shit, what are we gonna do now? So then we started going downstairs into the gym, up the staircase, down the hallway, the same hallway and down to the same staircase because no one would see us going that way because the door was blocked by, like, choir robes. And then, we would go down there. And then we'd always get freaked out if we heard anyone in that hallway because you could always tell if someone's in the hallway because they had the motion sensor lights. So we were always, like, freaking out. As soon as we saw those lights go on, we were like, oh shit, we getting caught. Shit. Now this is where it gets crazy. One day, we're sitting down there, we're just chilling. She had a game on her iPod, and we were playing that or some shit. And we saw the light go on, so we ran down the stairs and, like, hid under the stairs. And, it was a bunch of kids walking in and out of the classroom. Which, you know, I might have been skipping every day. But you're gonna let them walk back and forth and not say anything? Like, that's bullshit. And they saw us down there, and they were asking what we were doing. We were like, oh, yeah, we just want to go to class, yada, yada, yada. And they were like, oh, yeah, cool, yada, yada, yada. 5 minutes later, we hear the same kind of foot steps. I can't English today. We hear the same footsteps coming down the hall, and we're just like, oh, it's them again. So the door opens. We still hide because we're just, like, not sure. And it's the teacher. He says, Hunter? And I kind of was like, oh, shit, they told them. They told him, and now we have to give up now. I mean, we could have just walked out the damn door and said we weren't there. But I'm dumb. And I looked up, and I said, hi. And then he was like, is Sarah with you? And she was like, hi. And, yeah. And then he emailed the dean, and the next day, which, by the way, if you're going to give someone suspension, wouldn't you just do it all day and not wait a period? Because the next day, I went to first period with him, went into second period, and then got called down to the dean, who then told me to go to ISS, and that I was, like, why not just all day? You couldn't call me down, like, during homeroom? Dumbasses. So, we stayed there, and it was stupid as fuck, which we'll get into later, but then I never went back to that class, because I was like, you know what, fuck you. But I still went to first period because that was the only class that I had a chance of passing. I didn't have a chance of passing choir, but I didn't really care anymore because I was like, I already have enough credits that I need from choir, but it still looks bad if I fail it, so I was like, whatever. So, yeah, I never went back to that class, and then I didn't take it this year, so. But that's because I couldn't. I had to take another class, so, other story. Now we're getting into the rant. Someone please tell me why the punishment for skipping class is to make them sit in a room and miss all their classes. Why? Why? If I get in trouble, I confess now, I skipped classes. I skipped classes a lot. Because it didn't just happen to those classes. I skipped period 2, I skipped period 3, I skipped period 4. I would skip, some days I would skip all day. Me and Sarah would just go down that hallway and we just sit there all day, except period 6 and period 3 sometimes because those were my periods, and period 8 were our periods because that was band and we were like, we ain't skipping band, because period 6 was French and period 3 was office work in the attendance office, which was really bad. But we would go down there all day, but why is the punishment for not going to class? Not going to class. You're gonna make me sit in a room. You're gonna go get my work for me, but you're gonna sit me in a room, give me work that I don't know shit about, which considerably is my fault. I'm not gonna say that. But you're just gonna make me sit there and not do anything. How about, I'm gonna say this right now. Here's a message to, like, security in schools. Instead of giving kids ISS for skipping class, how about you make the security guards escort them to class? That seems like a better option to me. I hope it does to you too, because letting kids sit in a white room doing jack shit, it seems kind of pointless. And if I ask you, no, I didn't even ask. I told my dean I did not want to be in ISS. He told me, he said, okay, I'll call your parents and I'll tell them that you want an out-of-school suspension for the day. I said, okay. My parents didn't find out about that ISS until the next month. How you gonna explain that? You never called. You didn't give a shit. But you know, it's still my ass on the line. So I was the one that told my parents about the ISS because I had to go home and ask them that day, did you get a call from the school? And they said no. I'm gonna call you out right now because I'm probably gonna receive it. Fuck you, Mr. Leary. That's fucked up. Anyways, that was my little story time and rant for the day. Subscribe because why not? Hit the thumbs up because why not? And favorite it and do all that bullshit because why not? Okay, I'm done. So it's 11:48 right now, and I gotta be up at like at least 8 because I need to shower and get dressed because I'm going to an amusement park all day. So I need to go to bed. But I probably won't because I'm too hyper right now. So I'll see you guys later. Bye. Where the button at? Where the button at? Oh, there it is. Bye.